February 24th, 2022, a day that forever changed Ukraine. Every city and village, every family and business found itself under the impact of war. It brought not just physical destruction, but forced society to adapt to a harsh new reality marked by explosions and air raid sirens. One of the most critically important sectors during the war became telecommunications infrastructure. Connectivity emerged as one of the most vital resources for effective military operations. It was essential for coordination between units, rapid transmission of commands and information, controlling drones, and providing aid in crisis situations. For civilians, communication became a lifeline. It allowed people to stay in touch with family, even if they remained in conflict zones or fled abroad. It facilitated remote work, online education, and access to reliable information amidst propaganda and chaos. Telecommunications workers, recognizing the significance of their mission, began operating under extremely dangerous conditions. They repaired networks under fire, established autonomous power sources to sustain critical nodes, and despite losing revenue due to shrinking customer numbers, continued their efforts for Ukraine's benefit. Every day became a battle for connectivity because communication meant life, safety, and hope for millions of Ukrainians. Autumn 2022 marked another turning point. As massive attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure resumed, the term blackout returned to daily vocabulary. Across many regions, emergency and planned power outages became commonplace. Both major cities and small towns experienced extended periods without electricity. In some areas, power was supplied for only 2 to 4 hours, followed by equal or longer outages. The most severe conditions emerged in eastern and central regions, including the capital, where the network load reached critical levels. Power outages partially disrupted mobile networks and internet connectivity. Base stations and local network nodes, lacking adequate backup power, frequently failed.
At the onset of blackouts, most of our network utilized FTTB technology, with active equipment installed in multi-story buildings connected to the electric grid. When the power outages began, we were partially prepared because our construction standards required backup power sources, batteries, at each active network node. Unfortunately, lead-acid AGM batteries quickly lost capacity, meaning many network nodes either failed immediately during outages or lasted only 10 to 30 minutes. We urgently needed a substantial quantity of replacement batteries for thousands of network nodes, which meant considerable time and costs.
Due to constant outages, demand for batteries skyrocketed, and the market in Ukraine experienced unprecedented shortages. Providers were forced to purchase any available stock, even when quality was questionable. Battery prices multiplied, and delivery timelines stretched to weeks or even months.
It was very challenging to bring batteries into Ukraine because delivery times stretched to 2 or 3 months, which was too long. The problem required immediate solutions. Additionally, we could not always be certain about the suitability of available battery models. The first attempt was replacing batteries with lead-acid AGM batteries across the network. Approximately 2 to 3 weeks after the blackouts began, our subscribers were already receiving reserved internet access, unlike major operators who were still preparing, analyzing, and seeking opportunities for replacements. We replaced batteries across almost the entire network. That's when we realized AGM batteries were unsuitable for us as a telecom operator, because the limited number of charge cycles inherent to AGM batteries doesn't allow prolonged use with our equipment. That's the first issue. The second is that the current required to quickly charge these batteries must be higher than what is actually feasible.
To cope with the new challenges caused by widespread power outages, Ukrainian internet providers had to reconsider their internal structures. Many companies established specialized units dedicated exclusively to maintaining stable network operations during crisis conditions. Their tasks included analyzing, purchasing, testing, and upgrading equipment, particularly batteries and uninterruptible power supply systems. The key requirements were fast charging, extended autonomous operation, and adaptability to unstable voltage. For many operators, this became essentially a new direction of activity that previously did not require such extensive efforts.
Our engineers and specialists urgently needed a solution, and we found it. We developed custom circuits and upgraded power boards in network switches. Electricity was on for 4 hours, then off for 4 hours. Our main task was ensuring the batteries could fully recharge within these 4-hour windows, so the devices would reliably operate during subsequent outages. At one point, we even started importing battery cells from abroad as they charged faster. We purchased battery management systems, BMS, and assembled batteries ourselves directly in our company's office.
Technical upgrades to charging stations and imports of lithium iron phosphate batteries allowed us to partially stabilize telecom network performance. However, these measures couldn't guarantee stability during sudden changes in outage schedules. Just a slight extension of the power outage, from the planned 4 hours to 6, could again push network nodes to the brink of failure. To fundamentally solve this problem, some operators made a strategic decision, transitioning from active FTTB networks to passive optical networks, PON. Due to the absence of active equipment between nodes and users, these networks consume minimal energy and are significantly more resilient during prolonged blackouts. Although this transition is technically challenging and costly, it greatly reduces infrastructure dependence on unstable power supplies.
We significantly accelerated the deployment of PON networks. If, at the start of the power outages, roughly 5 to 10% of our network was built using PON technology, over the next 2 years, we tripled that percentage of users.
In the context of blackouts and constant attacks on critical infrastructure, powering the networks became the main challenge. But an equally important factor for stability remains uplink redundancy, the channels providing external network access. Even if a node is battery-powered, losing a single uplink means losing connectivity for entire districts or cities. Therefore, more and more providers are rethinking their network topology and investing in route duplication, multiple connection channels, and geographically independent points of access to the global internet.
It's critically important to have redundancy for uplinks. This is one of the company's main tasks to diversify risks. Before the war, we had fewer uplinks. However, the start of the war slightly adjusted our uplink policy. We additionally connected several backup traffic exchange points. It was crucial for us that these uplinks, these operators, didn't use the same backbone cables as our existing connections. We needed different routes, different paths, to achieve true uplink risk diversification.
Massive shelling, energy instability, logistical challenges, and shortages of quality equipment became a true stress test for Ukraine's telecom industry. But these very conditions forced operators to quickly adapt, create new specialized departments, re-equip networks, transform access architecture, and reserve critical resources. The cost of this adaptation is enormous, but the results are gradually becoming evident. More and more nodes keep operating even in darkness. The number of passive optical networks is steadily increasing. Backup channels are becoming standard, making connectivity more reliable. The Ukrainian internet is learning to survive wartime conditions, becoming one of the most resilient networks in the world.